Go.
By the end of the October 2013, I am a very young and handsome third grader who loves football and attends a football match as a forward. At the 40th minute in the game, a penalty shot is given to me. I'm so excited that I only hear the girls yelling my name, Kevin, Kevin, for encouragement, and I only see the opponent goalie cautiously staring at me. I place the ball on the field. I stand back, run to it, and shoot. The ball gets into the net, and the whole team joyfully applauses for their third goal in the game. I think this is the best day in my life. But somehow, I cough suddenly, like I'm going to splash out the blood. I feel extremely dizzy, and I think a lot of stars appear in front of my eyes. Don't know what happened. So my mom takes me to the hospital and wait for 2 hours. At last, here's the bad news, Kevin. A doctor says you get pneumonia because you breathe too many polluted air. You need to go to the hospital for transfusion every day and take rest at home for 1 month. After 1 terrible month, I start detesting the air pollution issue in China and the pollutant of PM 2.5. Particles smaller than 2.5 micrometers in diameter that refract the visible light and bring lung diseases. I researched through various of news and websites and even watched Under the Dome a speech given by Chinese reporter called Chai Jing for 20 times to figure out more about air pollution issue in China. So that's why I am here. The first thing I'm going to figure out is what caused air pollution issue in China. Now, please close your eyes and imagine when PM 2.5 comes. The dark sky means you cannot see anything around you. You breathe too many polluted air that you have lung diseases. You cough, you feel extremely dizzy, and you feel extremely uncomfortable. And last, you die. All right, open your eyes, and there's a question comes up. What are substances within PM 2.5? Can you answer this question? You? Okay. According to Chinese Academy of Science, contaminative substances within PM 2.5 are mostly sulfates, nitrates, and inorganic carbon, and minus 60% of them contain production and consume of coal. Now we already figured out the coal pollutes air in China, which leads me to the second thing I'm going to talk about. Why coal pollute the air in China? Why? Chinese use high quality coal for 40 years already to be one of the strong industry power in the world. Therefore, the good coal are much lesser than the substandard coal. Moreover, as you can see in this chart, Chinese people use 3.6 billion metric tons of coal. And this amount is even bigger than the amount of consumed coal of rest of the countries in the world. And this data is produced in 2013. But for now, you already can imagine that the coal is a serious issue in China, isn't it? This is a common coal we use, right? And what is this? Wood or coal? You think it is wood, right? Because you see the color of this stuff is brown and it has a lot of lines on it. So this is supposed to be wood, but actually it is coal. It is lignite. A brown coal and the youngest coal in the world, and half of it will transform into black ash squashing out the sky. So the question comes, how many lignite Chinese consume from year 2002 to 2011? Okay, let's try, have a guess. How many brown coal like this we use? How many? Have a guess? No, not 1 million. Actually, from the year 2002 to 2011, Chinese consumed from 60 million metric tons to nearly 400 million metric tons in the short 9 years. So, increasing amount of brown coal production and consume causes AQI of Harbin straight up to 1,000. In October 2013, that a female citizen and the head of local environmental protection department get lost. Actually, coal can be washed to clean. For example, 95% of British wash coal. But do you know how many coal Chinese claim? Well, merely 50% coal in China, about 100 million metric tons get claimed, but the rest of the 50% are useless and contaminative devices called ash contents. The Chinese transport them around the world, burn them in the stoves, and get nothing at last. So far, we see Chinese consume huge amount of contaminative coal, making air being polluted. However, what are some solutions to effectively ameliorate this issue? This is the final thing I'm going to talk about. Mr. Junfeng Li, the Deputy Director of Energy Research Institute, suggests the easiest way to make the sky blue is to decrease amount of coal consumed down to 200 million metric tons. If this is difficult to accomplish, how about we wash coal to decrease emission amount for 50%? Furthermore, I also create a solution for all the citizens around the world. I believe you already learned a word called electricity, right? You must learn this word. Electricity is a sustainable resource that people can achieve heat and energy as much as they need from solar and wind powers. Furthermore, the contaminative impacts of electricity on air are not huge as coal. Therefore, before we end up this speech, I hope you can keep one thing in mind. Throw all the coal you have away and start using greener electricity to achieve the heat and improve the environment. Thank you.